All right, let's jump right in, shall we? Our deep dive today, AI art.
Oh, fascinating choice.
Yeah, I've been looking over the stuff he sent me, all these articles and opinion pieces, even some kind of philosophical takes on it. And,
Hmm.
well, it seems like you're really trying to get to the bottom of this whole question of what happens when machines, get creative.
It's a question many are grappling with.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I'm a little intimidated by some of the stuff I'm seeing here.
You understand that.
Like, seriously, some of the artwork is so good. It's kind of freaky.
It is remarkable how rapidly this technology has advanced.
So I'm really curious to see, what you make of all this after we really dig in. But
Well, let's dive in.
yeah. Okay. One thing that really struck me is just how much anxiety
Mm-hmm.
there is around this whole topic. I mean, people aren't just curious about how AI art is made, but like
Right.
what it actually means for the future of art itself.
Absolutely. Your collection reflects a very common anxiety, a need to understand not just the how, but the why of AI art.
Exactly. Like, okay, we can see that AI can make art, but like, what does that even mean? Does it devalue human creativity?
Right.
Is it even art at all?
These are profound questions.
Yeah. And then there's that whole other layer of like legal
Oh,
stuff and
yes.
copyright
A
issues.
real legal quagmire.
Yeah, it's a lot. So maybe before we get into all the existential and philosophical questions, we should start with the
Yeah.
basics. Like, how does AI even make art in the first place?
A great place to start. One of the articles you shared delves into the technical process, and it can be quite mind-blowing.
Yeah, some of the stuff I was reading about Jan's, neural networks, all that's like, whoa, are we living in a sci-fi movie now?
It can certainly feel that way.
Okay, so break it down for me. How do these things actually make art?
Well, imagine, if you will, an art forger meticulously trying to create a perfect replica of a masterpiece.
Okay, I can picture that.
Now, imagine a detective standing right there, scrutinizing their every stroke.
Oh, so there's this constant back and forth.
Precisely. That's essentially how generative adversarial networks, or GANs, work.
Okay, Jan's, those are the things that keep popping up everywhere, right?
Exactly. The forger, in this case, is a neural network called the generator.
A generator, all right.
And it's creating images based on a massive data set of, existing art. But it's not just copying, it's learning the rules.
Rules, like what kind of rules?
The fundamental rules of different art styles, the interplay of color, shape, composition, all those subtle nuances. And then based on those rules, it tries to generate something new.
So like it's analyzing thousands, maybe millions of paintings
Yes.
and then figuring out, okay, this is what makes a Van Gogh a Van Gogh. This is what makes a Picasso a Picasso.
Precisely. And then it uses that knowledge to create something novel, something that's in the style of, say, Van Gogh, but not a direct copy of any existing work.
Oh, that's so interesting. One of the articles actually mentioned an AI program that made a picture that was like Van Gogh's Starry Night,
Mm-hmm.
but instead of those rolling hills and stuff, it had a futuristic cityscape.
Right. So it captured the essence of Van Gogh's style, but applied it to a totally different subject.
Yeah. It's like the AI took his style and reimagined it in a new context.
Precisely. And that's where our detective comes in.
The detective, you mean
The second neural network, called the discriminator.
oh, right. I was trying to remember that. Okay, so what does this discriminator do?
Well, think of it as the art expert. It's constantly trying to tell the difference between the image the AI made,
Yeah.
and a real Van Gogh.
Wow.
It's this constant back and forth. The generator is trying to make images convincing enough to fool the discriminator, and the discriminator is getting better and better at spotting the fakes.
It's like a high-stakes game of artistic cat and mouse.
It really is. And through this iterative process of, creation and critique, the generator learns to create more and more sophisticated images that, well, capture the essence of the style, but with unique twists and interpretations.
That's incredible. But I guess that brings us to the kind of the elephant in the room, right? The big debate about creativity and authorship.
Exactly.
I mean, some of the stuff I was reading, it's like some people are convinced that AI is going to kill human creativity. Like it's just going to flood the market with all this machine-made stuff. But then other people are saying, no, AI is this amazing tool that could actually help artists push the boundaries of what's possible.
A spectrum of perspectives, for sure. And it really is a complex issue with valid arguments on both sides.
So how do we even start to make sense of all this? Like, what's the core of the debate here?
Well, you see, the traditional view of art often emphasizes the expression of, human experience, our emotions, our memories, our unique perspectives on the world.
Right, like the artist is pouring their soul into their work.
Exactly. And that's something AI, at least for now, doesn't possess. It operates based on algorithms and data. It lacks that subjective consciousness that underpins human creativity.
Hmm. Yeah, one of the articles actually had a quote from like a super famous artist who basically said AI art is soulless. Like it's all technique, but no heart.
A sentiment echoed by many in the art world.
Yeah, and I can see that. But it also makes me wonder, like, is it possible that AI could, like, evolve? Could it eventually develop some kind of artificial creativity that actually resonates with us on an emotional level?
Now that's getting into fascinating territory. Is it conceivable that AI could generate art that moves us, challenges us, even makes us question our own humanity?
Right. That's some deep philosophical stuff. And that's not even getting into those legal issues we were talking about.
Indeed. The implications are vast.
One of the research papers you sent even suggested that AI could, like, force us to redefine what creativity even means.
A thought-provoking idea, for sure. If AI can produce art that evokes genuine emotion, that challenges our perceptions and inspires new creative avenues, does it ultimately matter that it originated from algorithms rather than human consciousness?
And I guess that brings us back to that article you sent about the AI-generated artwork that won a prestigious art competition, right?
Ah, yes. A fascinating case.
It really makes you think, if a piece of art resonates with us, if it sparks our imagination and moves us, does the source of the art really matter?
That's the question AI art is forcing us to confront. That's the question AI art is forcing us to confront. Does the source really matter?
Right, right. And it kind of leads to another layer of all this too, right? This whole question of, is AI just a tool?
Yes.
Or is it like an autonomous creator?
That's a crucial distinction, and your sources offer some really interesting perspectives on that very point.
Yeah, one article I was reading talked about how there's this whole spectrum of like human involvement in AI art.
Okay.
Like some artists, they're using AI almost like a digital paintbrush,
Yes.
just to kind of explore new styles or to make some of the more technical stuff easier. But then you have other artists who are giving the AI way more freedom, like they'll give it a prompt or an idea
Yeah.
and then just let it run wild.
Precisely. And that varying level of control makes it very difficult to draw a clear line between, as you said, tool and autonomous creator.
Totally. And some artists, they're using AI to generate like ideas, textures, even whole compositions. And then they'll take that and refine it, integrate it into their own work.
Right. It's almost like having a brainstorming partner.
Oh, that's a good way to put it. Like a super intelligent brainstorming partner, but one that maybe you can't always predict.
Perhaps a bit unpredictable, yes.
Yeah. I mean, one artist you mentioned in your notes, she makes these incredible landscapes by feeding the AI photographs of real places.
Interesting.
But then she takes those AI images and manipulates them, adds her own artistic touches, brings in her own like emotional perspective.
That's a great example of how AI can serve as a powerful tool for artistic expression.
Yeah. But I guess the more sophisticated AI gets, the more complicated these questions of authorship and originality become, right?
Absolutely. If an artist just gives the AI a simple prompt and it spits out this amazing, visually stunning, completely unique piece of art, who can really claim ownership?
Right. Whose art is it really?
Exactly. And one of the articles you sent about the legal battles surrounding AI art, oh boy, it really highlights how much our legal system is struggling to keep up with all this.
Yeah, it sounds like a total
A
mess.
bit of a legal labyrinth, to be sure.
I mean, copyright law, traditionally, it's all about human authorship.
Right.
But with AI, it all gets so blurry. Is it the artist who gave the prompt?
Mm.
Is it the programmer who wrote the code for the AI?
Or the artist whose work was used to train the AI in the first place.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, where do you even begin to untangle all that?
A very complex issue, and it gets even more complicated when you consider the potential for AI to create something entirely original, something never seen before, without any human input at all.
Whoa.
That's when we really start to push the boundaries of our current understanding of art and creativity.
Yeah, what happens when the AI is the artist?
Precisely. If AI can generate truly innovative, evocative art completely independently, how do we even assess its value? How do we attribute authorship?
It's like the AI is challenging our very definition of what it means to be an artist.
And that challenge, it extends far beyond the art world. You see, AI art is really a microcosm of these larger societal shifts we're experiencing as artificial intelligence becomes more and more embedded in our lives.
That's a good point.
One of the opinion pieces you sent even suggests that AI art is a wake-up call, urging us to rethink our relationship with technology, its impact on our creativity, our livelihoods, our very sense of what it means to be human. a powerful perspective. And it highlights the importance of having these conversations, of exploring the complexities of AI art with open minds, with a willingness to embrace the unknown.
Yeah, for sure. It's easy to get caught up in the fear, the anxiety about AI disrupting the art world. But maybe, like you're saying, this disruption is actually an opportunity.
An opportunity for growth and evolution.
Yeah.
You see, it's not just about adapting to new tools and technologies,
Mm.
it's about rediscovering the essence of human creativity,
Right.
exploring what makes us unique as artists, as thinkers, as creators in this world that's increasingly intertwined with AI.
I really like that research paper you sent about the potential for AI to actually enhance human creativity.
Yes, a fascinating paper.
It made the argument that AI could be a powerful tool for collaboration, for pushing artists to think in new ways, to experiment, to create art that's even more expressive and meaningful.
Imagine, if you will, artists and AI working together, each pushing the other to new creative heights. The AI generating these unexpected forms, textures, compositions, and the human artist bringing emotional depth, personal narratives, a critical eye to shape the final work.
It's like this creative dance between human intuition and artificial intelligence.
Exact.
And the results could be amazing.
Worth taking even. But of course, like with any new technology, there are challenges and ethical considerations.
Right.
One of the articles you shared raised concerns about the potential for AI to perpetuate existing biases, especially if the data sets used to train the AI are incomplete or skewed.
Oh, yeah, that's a really important point.
Yeah.
We have to make sure that these AI art tools are developed and used responsibly with an awareness of those potential biases and a real commitment to inclusivity and diversity.
Absolutely. And as AI art becomes more prevalent, we need to address the economic implications as well. How do we ensure that artists are fairly compensated for their work in a market that's increasingly influenced by AI?
Yeah.
How do we protect their livelihoods? How do we make sure that creative talent continues to thrive?
Those are tough questions.
Complex questions without easy answers, that's for sure. It does seem like we're at a crossroads, navigating the exciting possibilities of AI art while also grappling with the potential pitfalls and these ethical dilemmas.
We are.
And that's why it's so crucial to have these conversations, to really engage with the complexities, and to seek solutions that benefit both artists and society as a whole.
Okay, so we've talked about the tech, the artistic debates, the legal headaches.
Yes.
Where does it all lead? Some of these articles paint a pretty intense picture of the future. Like, is AI going to dominate the whole art scene? Is that where we're headed?
It's a question that sparks a lot of debate and, frankly, a lot of anxiety.
Yeah, it feels like we've gone pretty deep down this rabbit hole. We've talked about the technology, the artistic debates, the legal stuff, all of it.
Yeah.
And some of these articles, they don't like sugarcoat it. They make it seem like AI is going to take over the whole art world. So like, is that what we're looking at? Is that the future?
Well, it's certainly a possibility that a lot of people are discussing. Some people do think that AI art will become so advanced, so widespread that it floods the market and, potentially even devalues human-created art. But others believe that AI will ultimately become a tool that actually enhances human creativity. They see it leading to, a whole new golden age of artistic expression.
Yeah, it's like, will it replace us or will it make us even better?
Exactly. And one of your sources, a futurist, he actually predicts that AI will eventually surpass human capabilities in pretty much every field.
Every field.
Including art. He argues that AI will be able to create art that's not only technically brilliant, but also emotionally resonant, like really challenging our very definition of what it means to be creative.
Whoa. Okay, that's kind of scary. Like, the idea of machines being more creative than humans, it's like something out of a sci-fi movie.
It's a concept that many find unsettling, but it does raise a very important question. Even if AI becomes, technically superior in art, will it ever be able to truly capture the essence of human experience? The nuances of emotion, the depth of meaning that we often find in art made by other people.
That's a good point. It made me think of that article you included about the artist who trained an AI on like thousands of her own paintings. The AI could perfectly copy her style, but she even admitted that the AI-generated pieces were missing something.
What was it missing?
Like they didn't have the emotional weight, the personal stories that were in her own work. It's like that AI could imitate the style, but not the soul.
Yes, and that distinction between technical skill and true artistic expression, it's really at the heart of this whole debate.
Right, because anyone can learn to paint a pretty picture, but...
Exactly. But it takes something more to create art that truly moves people, that speaks to the human experience.
Right. So some people say that AI art, while impressive, is ultimately derivative. Like it's not really original. It's not authentic in the way that human art can be.
That's one perspective. But then you have that other perspective, which you also highlighted, the idea that AI could actually push human artists to be more creative, to explore new ways of expressing themselves that they might not have thought of otherwise.
Yeah, it's like instead of seeing AI as a threat, seeing it as a challenge, as inspiration.
Precisely. One of the articles you shared featured an interview with a digital artist who actually uses AI as a partner in his creative process.
Oh, wow. Like a collaborator.
Yes, he describes it as a creative conversation. He gives the AI prompts, ideas, and the AI responds with these unexpected shapes, textures, compositions. And then he uses his own artistic skills to refine and develop those AI-generated elements. The result is art that's both technically innovative and emotionally resonant.
So it's not about like AI versus humans. It's about AI and humans working together. That's pretty cool.
It is, and it really highlights the adaptability of human creativity. Throughout history, artists have always embraced new tools, new technologies. From oil paints to photography to digital art, it's a constant evolution.
Okay, that makes sense. But what about the practical stuff, like jobs and livelihoods? You mentioned an article that talked about AI potentially replacing artists, especially in fields like graphic design and illustration. Is that something we should be worried about?
It's certainly a valid concern. As AI art tools become more sophisticated and easier to use, it's very likely that some jobs will be impacted. But history also shows us that technological advances often create new opportunities. For instance, the invention of the camera didn't destroy the need for painters. It simply led to new forms of art and new roles for artists in society.
Oh, so it's not necessarily about jobs disappearing, but about jobs changing, evolving.
Exactly. One of your sources, an economist, actually predicts that AI art will lead to the creation of new markets and new career paths. He imagines artists specializing in, say, AI art curation,
AI art curation, what's that?
guiding the AI, giving it instructions to produce specific styles or aesthetics, or AI art enhancement, where artists add human touches, emotional depth to AI-generated work.
Oh, that's interesting. So instead of being replaced by AI, some artists might actually find new opportunities working with AI.
Precisely. The relationship between humans and AI in art might become more collaborative than competitive.
It's like we're entering a whole new phase of art making where the lines between human and machine creativity are getting blurry. It could lead to all sorts of new hybrid art forms that we can't even imagine yet.
Exactly. And that's what makes this such a fascinating and important topic to explore, this sense of the unknown, the potential for AI to reshape the art world in ways we can't predict. It's both exciting and a bit daunting.
Yeah, definitely a lot to think about. I feel like we've only scratched the surface of this conversation, but you've given me, and hopefully our listener, a lot to chew on. So any final thoughts, something to leave us with as we try to navigate this whole AI art landscape?
Well, as we consider all the implications of AI art, it's important to remember that at its core, art is about connection, human connection, shared experiences, finding meaning and beauty in the world. Whether it's created by human hands or by artificial intelligence, art has the power to move us, to inspire us, to challenge how we see the world. Let's approach this new era of art making with curiosity, a sense of wonder, and an openness to the unknown.
That's a great way to put it and a perfect note to end on. So, to our listener, thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the world of AI art. Keep exploring, keep asking questions, and most importantly, keep creating. The future of art is in our hands and in the algorithms we create.